All right. I think there was a problem with the audio, but fixed. And this is fixed as well. Okay, so if everybody can hear me and see my screen okay on YouTube and on Twitch, please let me know in the chat and we can get going. As usual, like, subscribe, leave a comment, ring the bell, jump on the dingo, whatever it is that you need to do, get it done. And if you have questions, you can ask during the stream. I think that's one of the benefits of being on this live, is you can ask questions live, and it could be on what I'm working on or just anything ZBrush related, and I will do my best to answer it for you. And if you're watching this after the fact, you can always leave your question in the comments, and hopefully somebody will get back to you. All right, so with that, we are going to continue to work on this fellow today, and I'm still waiting for somebody to chime in the chat, just to let me know that you can hear me okay and you can see my screen okay and all the okay stuff. All right. In the meantime, today we're just going to work a little bit more on these parts over here, the gloves, maybe these parts over here. Maybe kind of refine some of the stuff on the shoulder pads, and maybe work a little bit on the shoes as well, and maybe give him some gloves on the hands, maybe put some mechanical pieces there and whatnot, and also just kind of do some third level detail work if we can get to it, and also do some coloring work. All right, so right now I do have colors and materials assigned to this, but I've turned them off, so I'll go ahead and turn them on. All right, let's see. All right, Roger, thank you very much for audio and video okay check on YouTube. And then if anybody on Twitch can also chime in, that would be great. It's so funny. There's some people in the chat whose names are different every time, but I know it's the same person. So I don't know why they changed their name, but whatever. All right, so anybody else on Twitch, just let me know if you can hear me. I think if you can hear me on YouTube, you should be fine on Twitch as well. So yeah, so here I have some preliminary colors in here when I first started, but also, I'm sorry, I totally lost my track of thought because I saw a question there. Okay, there, the method creating round edges on the mask, which is for creating high surface. Let's say, for example, have 512 design. I don't quite understand your question. I think you might be going through a translator or something like that. Could you please re-ask it, and I'll be more than happy to try and answer it for you. Something about round edges on the mask you were mentioning, but I don't know specifically what it is that you're asking about. So yeah, let me know. All right, so first things first, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to hide the mask, because that's the only thing where I actually worked quite hard to get that material right. So I'm going to hide the mask and everything, or also I'm going to hide this kind of little thing that goes around his eyes that is bioluminescent. And then everything else I'm going to just fill with a maybe I'll just fill it with a common material. So I'm just going to fill everything with flat color material like that. And I'm just going to go to material only. And then I'm going to fill everything that's visible. And I think there's a way to do that with Subtool Master, which I have down here somewhere, but let me see if I can get to it. Here it is. All right, and I think it's do visible. Do visible. Maybe not here. Where is it? There's something in Subtool Master that says fill with color. But I can also do it this other way as well if this doesn't work for some reason. Okay, I'm not going to dig through here to find it. But there is a way you can do it. I think, let me check one more time. Okay, multi-pen, multi-insert, export, mirror, merge, invert, delete, high res, low res, scale, offset, do visible. Maybe it's down here. I don't know. All right, let's see if I can lift this up. No, I can't. Okay. All right, I'm not going to do it using Subtool Master. I'm going to do it this other way, which hopefully will work as well. So here I've got material, and I've got the material as flat color, because I just want everything to take on whatever material properties of whatever material I choose. And it looks like for most everything it's already there. So I don't know if I need to do this. So if I change my material here to, let's say, basic material 2, everything is basic material 2. Let me do this one more time here. And this is kind of a good thing to know, which is in ZBrush, if your material is this flat color material, then whatever material you choose subsequently, for example, here if I choose this chrome material, your object becomes chrome, right? Unless you've filled that specific part with, and here we go, here's one right here. Here are these ones on the top. So these guys have been filled with a material, and I don't know what that is. So here, what I'm going to do is just going to go ahead and make sure everything is just that flat material. All right, 512 design, I think you're asking the question again. I'll get to you in just a minute. Let me just finish this thought. So the way I'm going to do this here is I'm just going to take the top material here, like let's say, I don't know, this one that's visible. and I'm going to say fill object, and I just have material on, so fill object. And then I'm going to go down here and say, there should be something that says do it to all the other tools. Apply last action to all subtools. Okay, so I guess that's not going to work. What was the thing that filled everything in one color? I'm pretty sure it was Subtool Master. I'll give it one more try here. And if it's not that, then Subtool Master, and fill, visible subtools. Here we go. This is it right here. And so I've got material on, fill. Okay, that's it. All right, and then I want to fill it with color. Nope, I want to fill it with material only. And okay, all right, so there it is. Everything is being filled by that material. And soon these will have that as well. Okay, so here everything is basically going to be filled with that flat color material, so that from this point forward, whatever material I change it to here, so I'm going to go back to basic material, everything takes on that property. And now what I want to do is create some colors on here. And for that, I'm going to use the Z color. But before getting to that, let's answer 512 Design's question. This method is really useful. Create square mask in normal process, then seen a person from the macro menu, which is stored records around the... Oh, okay. I think this is what you're talking about, and I'll show it. And let me know if 512 Design if this is what we were talking about. So I'm just going to go here and just choose a plane real quick. Plane 3D. Okay, there it is. And let's say I just create a mask. Okay, let's convert this to primitive. Okay, and then also let's just subdivide it a few times. And what I'm going to do here is the corners are getting rounded. I don't want that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to bring this up, and I'm going to go to Z Modeler, and I'm going to crease all the outside edges. So edge loop complete. Bam, 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 bam. And now when I subdivide it, oh, did it do it? Why isn't it creasing the edge loop? Come on. All right. I'm doing something incorrect here. Okay, crease. Let's do edge loop partial. Did it do it now? Let's see. This one, this one, this one, and this one. And all right, so ignore the corners here. And I don't know if I need that many subdivision levels. Let's go to about 7 or 6. Okay, so I've just got this plane here. And if I create a mask, so I'm just going to create just a mask in here like that. Okay, so now here is the mask, right? Oops. Yeah. And you can see here the mask has sharp corners, and I'll kind of maybe make this a little bit more sophisticated here. Let me just add to this mask, maybe do this, and maybe do this, subtract as well. And let me do one more. Okay, and I'm going to make this subtraction a little bit more significant, like this. Okay, so all these corners are sharp. And then there is a command that basically I have in my menu, which is under here. Where are you? No, I have it pretty, let's see here. Apply round corners to mask. And the place where this is in macros, miscellaneous. So if you go to macros here in your menus, and this comes with ZBrush, by the way, macros, okay? And then if you go, and these are some of my own macros, but then the miscellaneous, these ones come with ZBrush. And then there is one in here that says, where are you? apply, there it is. Of course, right as I find it, it disappears. I'll bring it back. Right, where are you? Macro. Okay, macro, and apply round corners to mask. If you do this and you keep hitting it, you notice here that all these corners now are rounded, right? So it creates these round corners. So if you have sharp corners, you can round them by doing this. And then if I invert the mask and press W here, I can pull that out and have a nice kind of rounded corner look over here. Of course, there's other ways to achieve this a little bit better. But here, if I just go and hit it with a little bit of polish, and where are you? Just hit it with just a tiny bit of polish here. You know, I get something like this. And I'm going to do one more thing here with this clip curve just to kind of get that little nub that polish seems to create sometimes. And there it is. So now I've got nice rounded corners on this kind of situation. Round the corners of the mask. Okay, yeah. All right, yeah, I just did it 512 design. I think there's a little bit of a delay, so yeah. All right, sorted mate, you're saying, okay, good. So yeah, that's a pretty nifty thing. Again, it's just you create a mask like this, you know, and then the next thing you do is you just go to the macro menu. This is a kind of a goldie but a hidden thing, and apply round corners to mask, and you get those round corners, which is really, really nice. All right. Okay, so with that, let's move on. You know, I'm going to delete this thing, and let's get back to our dude. All right, so we got all the materials done. Now what I'm going to do is apply some coloring. And this might be the final coloring or not, but basically it's just going to be applying, you know, taking parts and applying colors to them. So for that, I'm going to use the Z plugin called Z Color, which again comes with ZBrush. And this is another one of those things that comes with ZBrush that's seldom used, but is super, super useful, specifically in what I'm going to be doing here. So usually it comes with, you know, kind of just regular colors in here, but you can see I have like color sets. And the way I get these color sets is I get them through Adobe Color. So if you just go in here to File and Append, so you can import this or whatever, open and save color sets and whatnot, but the better thing to do is to use Append. And with Append, what you could do is you can look for ASE.ASC files, and you can find those online. Or you can use your phone to, like, if you see something in nature and you think it looks great, you can take a picture of it and we'll kind of break down some of the colors for you and create these really cool color sets, right? So then you can just use those colors in your subject matter. So I've got a few here that I've already loaded in. And then, you know, you just basically choose a color, like I like this color. And then if you click on set color, it will set your color to that color. And then let's say, I'm going to pick a darker color for the helmet. Like let's say this navy blue here, and then the color is set. And what I want to do is I want to choose this helmet right here. And I'm just going to go from, I'm going to make sure RGB is on and not material up here. And then if I do fill object, and by the way, fill object is under color and fill object over here. So let me bring down that menu. So fill object, I've put it here on my menu because it's something that I use a lot. Excuse me for a second. All right, so now I have my helmet in that dark navy blue color, which is kind of cool. There's a kind of a black color here too, and I don't know if it's pure black. It's not. So there's a little bit of give to it. So I might want to choose to color my helmet that black color. And that looks good. All right, let's kind of back out. And then let's choose another piece here. That's going to be that color as well. And I'm thinking that this is going to be, this inside part's going to be a different color. And maybe this gray color right here. So let's fill object with that. And there it is. Okay, and then I'm also going to have, oh, is this masked? it is. So that inside part here was masked, so that's why that color didn't change. So I just removed the mask and changed that back. All right, so I've got that kind of grayish color in there. And I'm going to choose that same grayish color for this part right here. And I'm just using Alt-click to select these parts and fill object. Okay, this part, fill object. Okay, and then now it's getting to be, the colors are getting to be too close to the skull. So I'm going to choose the skull here and maybe choose this color for it. And then let's see what that looks like. Okay. That's good. Let's try, see if there's another one that might work better. Fill object. And, you know, I mean, a lot of these color sets kind of come together, so they work well together, but then you can also kind of jump between them. Maybe this color. Let's see what that looks like. Fill object. All right. I think that, excuse me, I think that that looks good. I have a little bit of a cough that's going away, so please indulge me with that. Right, and then for these parts, I think I like the color that's there. So to pick a color that's already on your object, you just click on the color here, drag over to the object, and it will change it to that color. Right, and then I want to have these things be that color, so fill object, this one too. All right, it's coming together. And now I'm kind of contemplating whether or not I want to have two grays or if I want to just use this gray for this area. And I'm kind of going to try that next. I'm just going to choose this part, fill object, fill object, this one, fill object. And these are going to finally, you know, these are going to be the colors I'm going to use. So, and it's looking good. And let's see here. Let's get this guy too. And these parts here I haven't really refined. They're kind of still rough. And let's choose this back part here and make it that color too. All right, that's looking okay. All right, so I'm going to look at, since I've got this gray color here, I'm going to look for other parts in the scene here to make that same color. I'm going to see if this one over here could be that color as well. Fill object, this one, fill object as well. There it is. Okay. And then this bottom part, let's see what that will look like if I change it to that color. All right. That looks good. Okay. I'm still not too happy with the bone color. So another thing that's nice about here is it's got these controls. So I'm going to go ahead and choose the bone color. I'm going to choose that again. So here, I'm just going to choose it like this. And actually I have it over here. I might as well just choose it from here. All right, there it is. And if I don't like it, I can change the hue, saturation, and value. So I'm going to drop the saturation of this a little bit. Just kind of have it be a little bit duller, maybe like that. And then set color. And then let's choose the skeleton here and say fill object. Yeah, I think I kind of like that better. And I'm actually going to go a little bit warmer with this. And I'm also going to try to use a shinier material just to kind of get some of this out because it's going to be more of a shiny type of object. So for this, I'm going to turn on M as well for material. And I'm going to go to basic material 2. So basic material 2 has a little bit more shine to it, as you can see here. Let me see if I even can go to toy plastic, if that's going to be too much. I think that's a bit too much. Let's just go to basic material 2 for now. And I'm going to fill this with the material as well. And then I'm just going to go back to basic material. So everything else is matte. But the skeleton inside has kind of that shinier material to it. Okay, now the teeth I don't really want to mess with, so I'm going to leave that be. I'm going to do a little bit of sculpting here on the skull. I think it was fine when I wasn't really focusing on it, but now I might need to kind of do a little bit of focused work on it today, maybe. And then what's this here? There's a piece over here. Let's solve that out. Oh, that's the inside part of the skull. That's wild. Okay, so that's just the skull itself. Now I don't really know if I want, this part down below here to be this color, but I don't know if I want it to go away either. What to do? Okay, so let me do a little bit of sculpting work on the skull today. Actually, this might be the time to do it. I'll continue with the coloring later. Rookie Mozak, please ask your questions. I mentioned that earlier. Please do. I'm okay with answering all sorts of questions during this. I already answered one today, so yeah, let's get going. All right, so let's go back to the skull here. And the problem with this skull is that there's only so much of it that's visible, right? It's a Dynameshed piece. I could probably get rid of some more of it, but I'm just going to leave that there. I'm just going to stick with this. And there's a lot of it not showing up here at the top, so I could probably lop off some of that as well. So I'm going to use the knife curve, and I don't know if I have, okay, good, that worked. It looks like I have everything. And let me just turn this on transparent and ghost. I can do that kind of after the fact as well. So just all the parts that I don't see, I need to kind of get rid of. Just because I want to reduce the geometry aspect of it, right? And then here, I kind of don't like this thin piece. I mean, it would be fine if all this was filled. So I'm just going to do a quick filling of these areas with this Damien Standard. Oh no, not Damien Standard. I don't want that one. I want, what do I want? I want this one, clay tubes, and just fill that in. Now I just want to make sure that none of this stuff over here kind of gets pulled in like it did. So I'm going to turn back face mask on, which is under brush and masking, auto masking, but I think I have it here on my interface in a very prominent place where I can't see it. Here, I'll just do it, for you guys here. So brush, and under auto masking, there is back face mask right here. So I don't know where that is in my UI. I should have it somewhere visible. Huh. All right. I guess when I was doing my last menu, I got rid of it, or maybe it's over here to the right where I can't see it. But anyway, I just turned that on so that when I do this, it doesn't mess with the other side. And here I'm just kind of filling this area up because I just don't want the, some of it works, and some of it I need to really be careful not to get. All right, okay. Smello, Joe Goodman is saying, oh, hello. How's it going? Took me a minute. All right, so yeah, Rookie Mozak, you can ask your question. One day in the future, all these internet names will be legible. There'll be something that AI will pronounce the names for me, I think. All right. So here I'm just inflating this a little bit, the areas that are kind of getting compressed. I'm just inflating them just so that when I do that clay tubes brush, that it doesn't just go to the other side. And here I'm just going to re-dynamesh this. I don't really care about destroying the sculpting. I mean, there is a little bit of detailed sculpting in here, but nothing really that's going to be horribly missed if I mess it up, because I'm probably going to have to do it again. But let me see if those cheek kind of puffs things. Okay, so I don't really need, how much of this do I need? Not much. I can probably get rid of some of this as well. Well, I kind of don't want to, just because I want to keep a semblance of the face in here. Right. And then I don't know, I think this is kind of an area that got filled, and I've got these kind of weird jaggies over here, and yeah. Let's bring clay tubes back. All right, I guess the person who was going to ask a question is not asking, hopefully. Oh, here we go. No? Sunglasses. All right. I see these are probably emoticons or emojis or whatever. The language of the future. It'd be funny if aliens landed on Earth and their language was emojis, like all they spoke was emojis. So we have to kind of interpret what they're saying with emojis. All right, so some of this is kind of happening on the other side, which I really like. Did I just make this thing crash? Please don't crash. Nope. Okay, good. I'm going to quick save real quick just to kind of save some of that color work and stuff that I did so far so we don't lose it. All right, pardon the time it's going to take to save here. Oh, I turned backface mask off. Did I? All right, well, that's weird. All right, I'm going to turn my screen off for a minute. Pardon me, I'm just going to put this on. Where are you? Okay, and I just need to fix something here real quick. All right, for some reason, something got disconnected here, but not a problem. I can reconnect it. I hope. All right, come on. This is not good. All right, well, there's another way of doing that. Again, just pardon my let's see if this solves the problem. Still no dice. Sorry, folks. Just giving me a minute here. I might need to jump off and jump back on, but I don't think so. I think I can fix it without having to do that. Just have to... All right, let's see. All right, let's see if we have control back. We don't. Okay, just give me one more second again. Yeah, this is really unexpected, but hopefully won't be an issue. There's probably some sort of device conflict or something like that. Right, then all right, let's end this again. End task. And then let's start it back up. Hopefully this will do it. Come on. All right, come on, come on. All right, we're back in business. Sorry about that mess, folks. It happens, but all right, back to this. I think this maybe this skull here is haunted. I just kind of did a something really funky is going on here. Right, let's just kind of do this. Fill that up. Make sure about something here. All right. Yeah, everything seems to be on track. We are good to go. All right. All right, just fill in this area. Just testing out some other thing, and I think I know what caused this, but I think there's weird Windows Ink stuff going on. I don't know why this Windows Ink thing is such a pain in the ass all the time. Okay. Okay, just fill this in. I think I'm going to restart ZBrush just for kicks here because something's funky with it. So I already saved it. I'm just going to go to that save that we did beforehand. So pardon my problematic situation here, but it should not be an issue. Once ZBrush restarts, I'm hoping that it's resolved. All right, ZBrush is back. Of course, we'll have to do the resizing bit here. Sorry about this mess again, but it happens. I'm sure it happens to all of you. Here we go. I should have been loading my file while this was happening. Don't want to save changes, and I do want to go here to Gnome and Robot. Let's load that in. Another thing I'm bummed out about is I loaded a bunch of alphas, the Kiosk Masons alphas, before I started my stream, and I have to redo that, but it's not a big deal. All right, Joe, see you later. Okay, all right, I think we are good to go. Yep, restarting ZBrush did it. So a couple of things here. I'm going to go ahead and make the document size here. No, and I'm going to double the size of it and draw this out. There it is, a half. Okay, we are back in business. All right, so let's go back to, I didn't load the autosave version, which is fine. Here, I'll go to quick save. And I think this is the one we did right here. No. Need some other things I'm working on here as this loads. I was trying out some new things. And here we go. One more time. Document, new document, no. Document, double. Draw this out. TF, a half here. All right, cool. Now we're back to where we were, and let's go back to that skull here and solo it out. And yeah, geez, talk about a sidetrack. And this kind of stuff happens every once in a very long while, but it's really good to know how to get out of it. That's kind of one of the things I tell my students is half the job is knowing how to get yourself out of a tight corner. Because it happens. There's so many things that can go wrong, and figuring it out in about 15 minutes is kind of the rule of thumb, is that just make sure you can figure out whatever problem you run into in about 15 minutes or less. And if you can't, then look for help, because spending too much time on it doesn't matter. All right, so both of these kind of, yeah, see, it's still having this back face mask issue. I'm going to go ahead and turn that back on again. And yeah, I totally thought I had that in my UI, but maybe I do, and it's over here to the right where I don't really, you can't see it. But in the brush menu, auto masking, where are you? There it is, and back face mask on. And I don't think we should have that issue. And the reason why I'm doing this is just because I don't really need all the details in the back here. And there's a kind of another way of doing this, by the way. And I'll show you how that is. So I'm just going to mask this area. So I thought just filling it would get it done, but I guess not. So not a problem. I'm just going to use this other method. So I'm just masking the area here in the back that I want to have extended out, and then inverting that mask. So here it is. And then I'm just going to use this clip curve and do this. And that should bring it out like that. And that's basically all I need. And then I'll just kind of cut it this way. Redynamesh, and how about that? Done. There's some funky stuff going on in here for some reason. But now I can use the clay tubes just to fill that out. All right, another good idea is when you do something like this, is there could be some floaty kind of particles, and you probably don't want that. So it's a good idea to get rid of them. All right, so now see, there's no kind of extra geometry or anything like that, but this is kind of the stuff I'm talking about over here. So if you Dynamesh it a couple of times, it'll go away. And again, I'm not really worried about losing detail in the sculpted face here, because all these features I kind of did very roughly, and I'm going to go in and redo them kind of in a tighter way, maybe today at some point. Okay, so here I'm going to do transparent and ghost on. So basically I can work on this while I have all the other parts kind of visible as well. And I can get rid of all the parts that are not seen here, but I don't really care. I'm just going to go in here and start putting in some geometry. I'm going to make the size smaller here and just start adding some geometry here, pulling that out. And I don't really need symmetry for this, so I'm going to turn that off. And I just need to kind of create a little bit of a I lifted those up and brought them back down just to kind of create a little bit of the skull area here. And again, very little bit of this is going to be visible, but I'm just kind of doing this for my own satisfaction. Again, if this was a game or something like that, I don't know if they'll be zooming in on his head or not. It's a little bit of work. And usually, you know, if this is happening on a job, I'll usually ask the kind of the gaming people, the animation or the rigging people, like if, you know, this is going to be seen, or if they're going to have to do any work around here. Sometimes they do cinematics and whatnot with the characters, so, you know, it's always good to kind of make sure you know what they're going to zoom in or not. And if they're not going to zoom in on that part, I wouldn't waste my time. But it's just, it's nothing, it's, you know, it's going to just be a few minutes and it'll help. I'll re-dynamesh this. Okay, that's good. And it just kind of creates this kind of interesting bottom part so that for some reason, if I'm looking at it from this angle, and I'll go ahead and turn transparency off, I'm looking at this angle, it's kind of a more interesting look than what I had before. Right, and then maybe add some texture to it. Go back to clay tubes here. There, I don't really know if I need anything more than this in that area. Okay, so let's look at the rest of it. And I'm going to try something here with the skull to see if it works, and that's using clay, clay polish. So I'm just going to solo this out and see if clay polish will help this in any way. I'm going to give it a small edge of maybe 1 and run clay polish on it. And I think that's kind of giving me these nice little hard surface looking edges. Kind of go back to the way it was here. And I'm going to give this an edge of 2. I'm going to increase the sharpness a little bit. And let's see if this works better. Yeah, this is looking good. And then what clay polish also does is it creates this neat little mask. And then what I'm going to do is just inflate this in the negative just by a little bit. Wow, that's a lot. Wish I could do a less subtle version of it. I guess I can. I'll just use the inflate brush and just kind of gently just go over it very, very gently here just to kind of get this cool pattern that it came up with and see if that helps. Should have stored a morph target, but never mind. Again, here I'm just very gently brushing it negatively with the inflate, and then if I remove the mask, this is what I get. Let's dynamesh it. Dynamesh will get rid of some of those kind of harder ridges too. So that kind of gives me a little bit more of this kind of chiseled look, which, you know, for stylized games like, I don't know, some of the Blizzard games or whatnot, this method kind of works. Here, it's not bad. I think I might just keep it. All right, and then another thing I can do here to add a little bit more detail, and I'm working on tertiary forms here, but I'm just trying to see if I can get away with not doing any sculpting on here and just getting everything done procedurally. So the next thing I want to do is I want to push in these nostrils a little bit more. So I'm going to go to Damian Standard here, and also I'm going to turn on symmetry because these are symmetric, and just see if I can push these nostrils just a little bit further in, get more of that shadow action happening. All right, that looks good. Something like that. Again, working on this kind of stuff with a pen display is really neat. Here we go. You can kind of just work exactly on that spot. Right, I'm going to use H polish here just to get a straighter edge over there. Okay, yeah, the nostrils look a little bit better. And then the next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to do some procedural noise on here to see if that works good. And I'm going to do that through surface. And let's go to Lightbox and see if there's anything in here that looks kind of bony looking. And these all come with ZBrush, by the way. Let's see what this is. Let's try that one. Don't really see much of a difference. Let's undo that. And also, I don't know if I need all 4 rows of this. Let's try something like this. No, that didn't look good. How about this one? Sort this out. Oh, what is going on with these? All right, well, when all else fails, you can just do it manually. So I'm just going to go in here, frame this. Okay, so this is kind of the warbly noise, which is kind of nice, right? And what I'm going to do here is not solo this so I can kind of see it within the context of everything else. I'm going to go to surface noise again, and scale is maybe a bit too big, maybe something smaller, and maybe a little bit more intense here, like something like that. All right, and let's see what that looks like. Yeah, that looks okay. Just we'll add a little bit more of this kind of granular randomness, and also, you know, when the light catches these little kind of speculars areas, it might be interesting. Yeah, that looks good. I don't know if I want to do anything further than that on the skull. I think that looks good. All right, so one other thing I want to do here is maybe apply a little bit of paint to this. So I'm going to solo that out, and let's add a little bit of paint. And I'm going to do this again, try and see if I can get away with doing some of this automatically. So I'm going to go to masking. Where are you? Masking, and let's mask by curvature. No, peaks and valleys. Let's do this. Okay. That's good. And then let's just kind of choose a little bit lighter version of our color. Okay, and let's fill object. I don't know if that did anything. Let's do a little bit lighter. Let's do something like this. Let's just see. Okay, so that's what we're getting. So let's go lighter. Oh, I see what's going on. Okay, so I guess I should fill the thing with the original color before we do this, right? So let's say fill object here with just RGB, fill object. Okay, and then let's choose the masking again, mask peaks and valleys. I'm just using the default here, which is fine. And then I'm just going to choose the lighter color, fill object again. Right, so now you can kind of see a little bit of it. Do I have color on this thing? Subtool. Yeah, I do. All right. I guess my choices are really subtle, so they're not really appearing. Let's go a little bit lighter. Okay, good. Let's go a little bit darker, maybe that'll work. And then let's do peaks and valleys. Masking, peaks and valleys. Invert that mask and fill object. Here we go. And just smooth that a bit. See what that looks like in there. Okay, so yeah, it's okay. I think the dark color I picked was a little too dark, so let's go ahead and do that again. Let's go back to here, solo that out. Okay, let's invert that mask and let's pick a lighter color, fill object, and then invert that mask again, and then let's just choose a little bit darker color, maybe somewhere around there. Yeah, this is kind of good. Now the other thing is that the noise was applied to the whole thing. So I'm going to do another mask here and do a polish on it. By the way, this thing that's happening, if it happens to you, where I'm rotating and it just zooms in on the specific object, and when I let go, everything comes back. That's because here under solo, dynamic is on, so you can turn that off. All right, nobody's asking any more questions. What's going on? Okay, so now I'm just going to solo this out, and I'm going to do a different kind of mask. And this time I'm going to mask by cavity, and mask by cavity. So that basically is filling, you know, all the inside parts are being kind of masked, which is good. And I kind of want to get that a little bit more. So I'm just going to up this curve a little bit more and do mask by cavity again. Let's add a little bit more blur. All right, so basically maybe a bit more than that. I wonder if blur is going to add. Yeah, and what I want to do is all these parts that are protruding, I don't want them to have as much noise as the inside parts. So all these parts I want to have like that noise, but the other parts I don't want to have the noise. Actually, this would be a cool way to color it too. So let me do this. So these are probably even lighter. So I'm going to even create a lighter color there, and then invert the mask. And what I want to do is just apply a little bit of polish to this, and I can probably do it manually here. Deformation, and let's just do polish crisp edges. All right, so that basically makes the outside parts a little bit less kind of polished. This is looking more and more rock-like, which I don't really want. So again, I should have stored a morph target, but I didn't. But again, I could just always just repolish the thing. All right, that's kind of good, but it's getting rid of some of that edging that I had with clay polish, so I might need to hit it with clay polish again. All right, so geometry, clay polish. Here we go, and that's giving me those kind of harder edges again. All right, so this is kind of creating a really interesting statuesque looking skull, which is fine. And again, depending on how much I zoom into it, I've got these facets that are happening that look pretty cool. And this is, again, the skull is looking a lot more rock-like than organic. So I don't know what I think a cool way of doing this is maybe reducing the resolution of the Dynamesh. So I'm going to go 2048 and re-Dynamesh it. Let's see if that gives me a little bit less of this look. No, maybe a little bit less than that as well. Again, these are all kind of little experiments I'm doing. I should have saved a version of this, but I'm just kind of jumping in here just to kind of not have the... Let's re-Dynamesh it. All right, I think a little bit of manual sculpting will kind of help this. So I'm going to do that. Let's go over here, Damien Standard. Oh, you know what? I don't think I applied the surface noise, so it's just kind of all the things I've been doing are not being done just because I made a mistake of not applying this noise. So I'm back to having it be the way I want it to be, but I'll just apply the noise here. See what that looks like. Apply to mesh. Actually, that works out okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and up that Dynamesh back up to 4096, re-Dynamesh it, noise again, and apply to mesh. But I'm going to do something before. I'm going to clay polish it so that all these parts here are masked. And then all these are masked, so then the noise will be applied to the parts that are not masked, right? So I'm just going to leave that mask there, and then go to Surface, Noise, Apply to Mesh. And then once I do that, you can see that the noise has been applied to the crevice areas. Try this one more time. Okay, and there it is. All right. So then I have these kind of outside edges still okay. And I can just go in and do a little bit of sculpting now, just to kind of add a little bit more interest. And I could jump out of symmetry for this, just to add some asymmetry to this whole thing. All right. Again, this is just Damien standard brush. Just going in, adding a few kind of intricate details here. Now another thing to do here, and this works really well inside of skulls too, is if you use Damien standard but change the stroke to spray, you get like this kind of interesting bone crevice type of look. These eyes are looking a little too Junji Ito. And I think applying the noise this way might have been a better way to go. It's a bit more organic. All right, skull's looking a little bit better. All right, kind of discovered an angle here that I hadn't touched, so I'm going to go ahead and turn this back to normal. Again, just doing this little bit of asymmetry work just makes it look a lot kind of more believable as an asymmetric object. Just going to change the angle of this a little bit here again, just to kind of get a little bit more of that asymmetry. Turn AccuCurve on, get a sharp edge over here. Right, so a little bit of asymmetry goes a long way. Okay, I think that's good for now. And even though he doesn't have eyes, I'm just kind of creating this look with shadows where there's something in there. I do have eyeballs for him, which we kind of decided not to use at some point in this process. All right, I was going to work on other parts today, but the skull's kind of taken over. But we got an hour to go, so we're good. Okay. All right, back to coloring things. All right, what's this part right here? It's showing underneath. Oh, this was masked as well. All right, no worries. We'll go to this. RGB fill object. Okay, so that was just a masked part under the helmet, so that's good. All right, I think for the helmet, the coloring here is good enough. And then for this part right here, I think we're going to choose that same black color. So fill object. Oh. All right, and then this one's going to be that gray color. Okay, and then this one's going to be, what part is that? Let's have that be the black color. I think I did something similar to this before, but you know, it's always good to do it again. Fill object again. All right. What is this part? Oh. Yeah, that can stay black. And then this part right here, I think we can do this a different color, maybe lighter gray or something like that. Let's bring Z color up, find a new color. So here I'm introducing yet a third color, a third gray, a lighter one, maybe this one right here, and I'm going to use that for this tube right here. Okay. Good, and then for this part right here, I think that's going to be the black color too. I'm going to move this out of the way. What's nice about Z color is like you can move it into another monitor and it still works. And then I'm going to choose the darker color here and fill object. Okay, do I want that to be darker color or the lighter gray? Let's see how it looks like with this. And again, the final colors are going to be very close to what I'm choosing now. So this is kind of a colorway type of discovery time. And I don't know if I like that as much, but then if I make it the darker color, then it's too dark. All right, well, what if I do this gray color then? Which kind of makes these two the same color, and maybe I'll do this one the lighter color gray. Yeah, let's see if this works. Here we go. Nope. All right, so we're gonna make that this color too, and just have them be different materials maybe. All right, and then let's pick this one here, make it the lighter gray. Right, these tubes I'm going to leave as is for now. And then let's see here, this part right here, the lighter gray would be good for it. Okay, and then these parts, the lighter gray as well. So these I'm envisioning to be all metallic. Maybe this one could be the darker gray. Like that. And then let's pick this gray here and this piece. Yeah, this lighter gray is going to be more metallic. Okay. These pieces I can have be the darker gray, fill object. Okay, good. All right. All right, I've done quite a bit of work here. I'm going to go ahead and do a save. Take a swig of tea and see if there's any questions. Okay. So this part's starting to look good. Let's go ahead and I'm going to bring up the visor just because I kind of don't want to keep looking at this skull. There we go. Let's bring these two things back. We'll do a render in a little bit just to kind of see how this is looking. Okay, and I'm wondering if this part right here should be this gray. Let's see what happens. That kind of married it to this part right here, which I don't know if I want to do that. Let's choose a different color for this. No, I think this is fine. Yeah, that's fine. All right, and then we'll make this part right here the darker gray. There we go. All right, so you can see here that it's kind of coming together in a nice way. This part right here will be the lighter gray. Fill object. Yeah, so this kind of is making it a little bit more comprehensive. Now this thing here needs to get some hard edges on it. So I'm just going to choose H polish and give it a little bit of this. And this thing here doesn't have any depth. It's just this inside piece, which I could probably get rid of most of it in a minute. I mean, this is the only part that's showing. And I just want to kind of establish the shape of it. This juncture, that's all I need. And then afterwards, once I'm happy with the shape, I'll kind of create a more in-depth shape of it. Like something like this. Okay, and there's a bit of that showing over here too, which is fine. Yeah, I need to add some depth to this. Let's see if I can just do dynamic and have thickness but not have any smoothing. Whoa, look at that. Bit of jumbled mess. That's not good. I think maybe when I was doing my cutting, here we go, that cut didn't really work out well. Okay, so now if I do the thickness, it should be fine. Yep. And let's no smoothness, more thickness. A little bit of protrusion over here. Just do a little bit of cleanup. Not that big of a deal. And is this what kind of geometry is this? Okay, so this is kind of, look at this mess on the inside. That's not good. I'll probably, here, actually, let me do it now. I'll probably go ahead and accept this as is. So let's apply this. And then what I'm going to do is just Dynamesh it. The resolution of, let's go to 2048. Well, maybe that's too much. Let's go to 1024. Dynamesh, there we go. Just so I kind of have a more of a solid shape, and I can just mess with it, and then I'm basically probably going to get rid of a lot of the stuff here that's not visible because I don't need it. But there is some of that visible over here. So let's go to transparency, ghost mode, and see what is visible and what is not. Okay, there's a lot of it that's not visible. So I'm just going to leave it. Let me solo it out. There's a lot of this junk over here that's not visible, so I'm just going to get rid of it. Here I'm just using the, which probably is not the best way to do it, but I'm using the, yeah, it's not the best way to do it. Yeah, let's just use the knife tool and oh. Yeah, I guess knife has to go. Knife doesn't work with symmetry. That's right. What about slice? Let's see if slice does it. No, there's. I think which one is it? Clip curve? No, not clip. Slice. Trim curve. That's what we want. Let's see if this works. Nope, that doesn't work either. Let me redynamesh this thing, smooth it out a bit. Get rid of some of these pockets, and then maybe that'll work better. No, all sorts of weird stuff are happening, so none of these methods work. So I'm just going to go back to the initial way I did it, which is clip curve. And I know that's just going to do this, redynamesh it, do it one more time. Okay, this is what I want. Now I'm getting this kind of weird stuff over here, but it's easy enough to get rid of this stuff. Like that. And by the way, another way to get rid of all this stuff is just to go to like clay tubes or any standard brush or whatever, and then just turn on sculptress mode. Does have anything on? Why isn't sculptress mode coming on for clay tubes? All right, let's choose standard brush. BS standard. Where are you? Standard brush. Standard. Okay, let's turn sculptress mode on. So now if you just hit shift, see it gets rid of all those kind of doohickeys, and we're good. And just dynamesh it one more time. All right, that's good. Now let's see what of this is showing. All right, I've got this part over here. Let's bring that out. So this is kind of just a cushion part that's going on the inside part of that armor, just to cushion the person's stuff. Right, so I'm in sculptress mode, by the way. Turn that off. Dynamesh. Yeah, sculptress mode is pretty nice for when you're doing organic sculpting, or when you're doing kind of things like I was doing earlier. Okay, so that's good, that's good. So just this outside part of this is showing. I don't really need all that inside part. I'm going to get rid of it. It's going to be tricky, but I think I can do it just by turning off symmetry and then just lobbing off. And this is going to be kind of, let me see if I can do it this way. Clip rectangle, and I'm just going to want to keep this part right here. I think this is happening because I've got this mode on. Spacebar, yeah, I've got B radius on. Okay, one more time. And it's kind of got this other part here, but that's fine. Control A, and what I'm going to do here is just mirror and weld it to the other side, turn symmetry back on. And to get rid of this, the best way to do it is again by going to the standard brush. Right, and then turning on sculptress mode, and then if you just hit shift, it's a good way to just get rid of that part right there. Okay, and then yeah, so now I've got that going on, and I don't have all those I don't have all the kind of the stuff on the inside taking up geometry, and I can just do a few more adjustments here just to kind of get that to comply to what I want, which is just basically this is something that is holding that harness together. All right, that's good, and the color that it is good as well, so that's okay. Yeah, I don't want that to be the darker color. I think the color it is fine. And also I want to sharpen this edge. All right, very good, very good. Okay, so then let's move on to this kind of, let's see, the color of these shoulder pads. Okay, I think I'm going to have it be the same color as these guys. So fill object for that. Okay, and then for the outline of the shoulder pads, I want it to be this color. And let's take a look at these right now. I think I've got them at pretty low resolution, as you can see. So if I do a dynamic subdiv without thickness, but with some smoothing, let's see what that gives us without that. Looks good. Okay, yeah, the color is fine. Yeah, the color is fine. All right, and then let's do some of the stuff on the back. I kind of like this blue color for these hoses, so I'm just going to leave it for now. But I want to change this inside piece right here, this one. This piece, I want to change that color to this gray. Okay, just so it's more conforming. And then let's choose this light blue color is neat here, but I'm going to choose this blue color for this one too. So fill object. And then what's this? Okay, same thing. All right, so I'm just kind of temporarily choosing this blue color, but I might change it to something else later. All right, and then let's choose the strap here and make it into this kind of color here. Fill object, okay. That's good. And then this tank is going to be this lighter gray. There's very little sculpting on this, so I might need to do a little bit more work. And then this here is going to be, let's say this color right here. No, it's going to be the same. All right, let's just choose this darker gray for that one and fill object. Okay, that's good. Okay, I think for the most part this is good. And then what about this strap right here? Let's try to make that the darker color. That's good. And then this buckle is going to be this gray. Okay. Right, this is all very good. Now what color is this? It's white, and that's white too, and that's fine for now. All right, so now we can see that I've got kind of more cohesive kind of look dev thing going on with this, so I'm happy with it. And let's look at these arm pieces. Do I want them to be the color, the darker color here? Does that make sense? And what about these ones? Same thing, fill object. All right, I think that's good. Oh, I got two pieces on this. All right. Yep. And then for these guys right here, let's choose that lighter gray. All right, so I think for kind of the hard surface parts, I think pretty much I'm happy with the color scheme I have here. Let's figure out what we want to do with the suit here. From a color perspective, let's go ahead and bring Z color back. And see some colors that would look good. Let's try this light blue. Actually, let's see. How about this color? I think it's going to be too dark, but let's try it. Yeah, too dark. How about this one? Okay. This color. It's okay, but I think a lighter color would work better. Let's try a green. It doesn't look too bad. Let's try this beige. How about this one? Yeah, doing these colorway tests are pretty neat using this Z color tool. Okay, how about this one? Kind of don't want to stay with grays. Let's try something really radical. Let's try red. That's kind of interesting. How about an orange? So if you had like this guy on like a team player game, you could choose different colors for the outfit and it would really kind of, you know, stand it out. Okay, none of these are really working for me. Let's try this tan color. I mean, it's not ideal, but maybe I'm just going to leave it at something for now. I might need to do some more exploration on colors later on Adobe Color to find something that might work better with this. Let's try this one. Let's try like a lighter color. I think I'm going to go with this one for now and just leave it at that for now, and then I'll change it out later. All right, so if I have that, what about these straps? I mean, this could be another thing that could add accented colors to it. So let's try a new color for these. Maybe this kind of gray. That's fine. I think this is all the straps, right? It is, yep. Actually, this is kind of coming together nicely. All right, so now I'm going to do some gloves. So initially I was just going to leave his hands as raw hands, but then, you know, he's kind of a robotic thing. So we need robotic arms for these hands, and I'm just going to go in here and just mask them. I think I'm just going to use the new masking capability. So if you go to the Move tool and you start masking, so you start the way it works is, I think, let me see if I can remember this correctly. You click, let go, and it should just do it. Let's see if this works one more time. All right, so control, click, let go of control, and then move the mouse. Try this one more time. Yeah, screw it. So basically, this will do it right here, like that. There we go. I want to do this part. Or I could just do the old-fashioned way of just using mask lasso, lassoing the part out, and then right, something like that. And I just want to extract this piece out. Something like that. Okay, and I'm going to use this. Actually, are there edge loops? There are edge loops. I don't know why I didn't do that. Okay, so I'm just going to duplicate this whole thing and drop it down a subdivision level, and just choose these pieces right here. They're different. Okay, and I just need to make sure I got everything. Yep. And then invert this and delete hidden. So now I've got the gloves separated out, bring everything back. And now what I want to do here is I just want to inflate the gloves just a tiny bit. And I don't know if I want to have robotic fingers or if I want to have like some sort of a robotic thing inside, covered with some like rubbery material. So here I'm just bringing them out over the fingers that are underneath. That. All right. All right, so now I've got to, excuse me, have these kind of gloves here, and I don't know, I think I'm just going to, and the thing about the body, excuse me, the thing about the body is that it has, I don't really need it anymore because the hands are the only thing that were showing in it, so I'm just going to hide the body. I want to move it all the way to the bottom here. I mean, it's there just in case I need it for something, but I don't really, I'm just going to be working on the hands individually. Right, so the other thing I also want to do is I want to close this thing off. What I'm doing is here, under the fingers are intersecting, so I'm fixing that from the inside. Okay, it's because I don't really want the, you know, kind of the intersection happening. So just hitting it with a little bit of smooth fixes that. All right. And I don't really need this topology for the hand, so I'm going to actually close this off. So I'm just going to go to close. Where are you? Maybe it's under edge. Close. Yep. And let's turn off symmetry here. It has the higher subdivision levels. I don't need them. Get rid of those. That's closed. Did it do it on this side? Here, let's just see if this will do it mirrored. Okay. Oh, they sausaged out over here. That's a technical term, sausaged fingers. And all this beautiful topology that would be great if I was animating, but I don't really need that kind of topology for this. So I'm going to actually wonder if this will work. Just zero mesh those parts. No, that wasn't happy. What if I zero mesh and keep the groups? Let's see what happens there. No, that was not happy. Oh, that's because smooth groups is on. Let's try it this way. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't have as nice of a topology as I did before, but it kept my polygroups and it gives me enough of what I need. I think we're going to stick with that. And yeah, so we'll just subdivide this once. And then I'm going to start kind of making this more into some sort of a mechanical thing. I have symmetry on. I do. By the way, I did the thing where I looked at the other hand to see if I have symmetry on, but there's another way to find out if you have symmetry on, and that's if you look at the ring, so this round thing, that's the cursor. If you have symmetry on, the outside has a double ring to it, right? So if I go here to turn symmetry off, you can see that the outside circle is just one circle. But if I have symmetry on, it's two lines. So that's another way of finding whether or not you have symmetry on or not. This is one of those things that if, you need to be reminded of every now and again. Right, I'm just kind of figuring out where the knuckles are. Again, it's an alien, so his knuckles are going to be not where our knuckles are. I mean, I don't know. Is it an alien? It's kind of a humanoid skull. Who knows? All right, I'm going to use inflate here to make these fingers more pointy. Inflate is really good to kind of create the inside parts of the hands or the fingers, just with a little bit of negative. There's some sausagation going on here. I think I should make a humor video about sculpting hands in ZBrush. All right, again, I'm just kind of trying to establish some sort of knuckle locations, just to kind of have an idea of where they are. And these tips are kind of good from certain angles, but horrible from others. I don't think I did any work here on this thumb. All right, let's bring everything back to see how we're looking. We're looking okay. All right, so now I'm just going to go to Damien Standard here, and let's see, maybe give it one more subdivision level, and see what kind of mechanical look I can establish. Folks are being really quiet today. There's quite a few of you on there. If anybody wants to say anything, please do. Again, this just is kind of blocking it in, checking with the context of the entire model here. Just to make sure it makes sense. It does. The proportions are a little bit weird, but again, it is humanoid, but not human. All right, anybody working on any interesting projects that you want to talk about? I'm currently working on 2 really fun ones that I can't talk about. But yeah, let's see what happened this week technologically. Kind of interesting to see the Vision Pro out finally. I was always wondering whether or not that thing was going to make a big impact. And it seems like, you know, some people are excited about it. I think it's more of a consumption tool. It's getting some negative press too, so, you know, which is understandable. First day, it's the greatest thing ever, and then the second day, everybody's complaining. I didn't get one. I checked it out. It was pretty neat, but I can't afford it right now. Hey, Jay. Yeah, cool. Yeah, in my case, I hope I'll never say I'm getting back into it. I think I want to be into it all the time. It's my favorite tool to work with. I mean, at work I use a lot of different tools for a lot of different things, but I'm happiest when I'm in ZBrush for sure. Okay, I don't know if this is the color I want for this. These hands. While we're in the coloring process, I'm going to actually choose the same color as the suit for now. All out, full steam. That's the way to do it. Yeah, I mean, especially in companies, and I mean, I teach ZBrush as well in schools, and you know, a lot of students just need to have some topical knowledge of it, because a lot of my students become art directors and whatnot. They don't really actually need to be on the box. So, you know, they need to understand what's going on, but they really don't want to actually be doing the work on it. So, you know, they take my class and they're good at it, and then, you know, 2-3 years later, they completely forgot everything they knew. I mean, still have an idea. They're better off than somebody coming in cold. But yeah, I mean, you have to really kind of be doing it all the time to just kind of be more adept in using it. All right. Getting some interesting kind of things here, but I still don't have it kind of mechanicaled out. I don't have it sectioned off. I have some interesting kind of underlying parts, but I don't really have a defined kind of structure for it. But the good news is I've got polygroups, so I can work on the fingers individually, which I will be doing next. You definitely want to have polygrouped fingers. It makes a big difference. I'm just trying to give it fingernails there, but I don't need fingernails. I just need more something like kind of a, like you see on the astronaut gloves, these kind of knobs at the end. Well, it's not looking very much like an astronaut glove. It's looking like something else. I might need to give this thing a little bit more resolution to get this level of detail. So I'm just going to give that back to where it was before I did that part. Okay. It's therapeutic. ZBrush is therapeutic. I don't know, man. When I see people working in production on it, they don't look like they're, you know, therapeutic. They look manic. But, you know, this is why I do the stream, is because this is kind of very little stress for me to be doing this work. Jay, I have one of those too. I have one of those. I have the orb weavers, what it used to be called, but Tartarus. Yeah, it's the same kind of thing. I think it helps. I really do. But here's the thing about those things is you got to be able to take them with you wherever you go. And if I go to a job, sometimes they're okay with me plugging it in to their machines. And sometimes they just don't want any foreign things plugged into their machines because of some weird contracts that companies have. So I try to, you know, just kind of stick to a normal keyboard as much as I can. But I have one as well. It's here somewhere. And I like it. I'm really fast with it. So if you're working in a situation where you have control of your machine all the time, I highly recommend using it. Yeah. And you know, the more hotkeys you have, the better off you are. I mean, I definitely have a few that I use. One of the things that I'm kind of not using though is you know, those kind of with the SenseLab tablets, there's the, I don't know what they call it, quick keys, or those kind of little separate devices that are, you know, that just have buttons on them. And I know that my 3D mouse also has that, or the, whatchamacallit's, the 3D connection, 3D object has that. And I don't think these vendors understand. I mean, it's good for executives where they basically have a button they can press to look at things and whatnot. But I don't think they understand that people who are working kind of in the trenches, they need really fast response, and they're all going off of muscle memory. So like if I see people working on Maya at some of the shops I work at, they're just flying. I mean, they're not thinking about what buttons they're pushing. They're just doing it. And they're just flying with muscle memory. And I think a lot of these vendors need to kind of maybe go into shops and have people that actually have done the work look at how people are using these things, and then kind of adding features that way, versus the way that they do it now, which is like, oh, you know, yeah, we have buttons and we have this and we have that, and nobody cares. They're just going to sit there and do nothing. I mean, it looks good when, you know, you're advertising the product and everything like that, but from a productivity perspective, I mean, I think it's a good idea to look at gamers, and that's what that thing is. The Tartarus is you know, gamers use that, and if you look at some of the kind of the pro gamers, they're usually flying on, like especially with strategy games and stuff like that, they're usually flying on their keyboards. You don't even see their fingers hit the keys. So yeah, I think that's a good idea. The hard thing about customizing, of course, is, you know, hoping that the company doesn't do something to completely throw your customizations out the window. So a lot of the customizations I do, like my menus and everything like that, are very much in line with what Pixelogic is going to, or I keep saying Pixelogic, what Maxon's going to do in the future with ZBrush. One thing that scares the heck out of me is that if you know, some executive gets hold of the product and goes like, oh, I don't like the interface, change it, you know, to something completely different. So if they do a complete overhaul of the ZBrush interface, I think a lot of people will look at that as a positive thing because a lot of people just don't use it. But I think the power users will be like, oh no. But we'll see. One user interface that's kind of improved over time is the Maya user interface. I think they've kind of been beaten over the head with things to do to change that. So over time it's gotten to be pretty good. They have radial menus, they have all sorts of stuff that makes life a lot faster. And if you see animators working on Maya or modelers working on Maya, I mean, it's it's pretty amazing. I can say the same thing about ZBrush too. Like if I look at serious people working on ZBrush, they're flying. You know, you see me when I look for stuff, you know, you don't see me looking for stuff a lot because I don't remember where things are. So that's why I kind of have my own custom menus and and my user interface. So I have everything that I need to use pretty much visible to me all the time. All right, so this is kind of coming together more or less. It's looking a little banana handish, but it's fine. All right. Oh my gosh, we're done with the time already? Yeesh. All right, so I've got this glove kind of more organic right now, but I want to make it more hard surface. So maybe I will add some kit bash parts on top of this, or I could just extract some parts out to make it look a little bit more mechanical. So maybe we'll do that next time. I think the colors are pretty much set. You know, next thing is to do materials and do the tertiary detail. I know I've been promising that for a while now, but it seems like I never get around to it. You're ordering the new XP Pen Artist 22R. What's the new XP Pen Artist 22R? Is that a new tablet? Look that up. Oh, is that a new display tablet? I don't, you know, here, let me see. Yeah, well, how, okay, so it's a 22-inch. Yeah, I didn't even know about this company. Where is the express keys? Are these the things on the side? Like these buttons on the side. Like nobody uses these buttons at all. You know, the Wacom tablets have these buttons on the side, and they're, you know, I never use them. I always turn them off because they're, you know, they distract me. And Sense Labs actually did the right thing and just had the tablet without any of them. Well, it's actually not a bad price for this thing, but I don't know how good it is, so I'm kind of curious. I've never used these guys' products. But that's not a bad price for that size of a tablet. I wonder if the display is good. A lot of times with these tablets, you know, I mean, it's nice to have the tablet, but the display that it's on is not really that good. But is the express keys a separate thing, or is it just those things on the side? Yeah, it's amazing. It used to just be Wacom, and now there are all these different companies. I mean, Sense Labs has some really good stuff. I use their stuff all the time. Wow, they have quite a few of them. It's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, these seem to be too cheap to be good. Jay, if you do get one of these, come back on and tell us how it is. Give us a review on the stream. Because, I mean, I basically use Sense Labs and Wacom pen displays, and I like both of them. I think they're both really good quality devices. But would be interested to see if other devices are decent, or if they give up quality to make the price better. You like Wacom but can't afford. You mean their pen displays, or their tablets? Their tablets are priced pretty nice. I mean, I don't think they're too expensive. And also, I mean, you gotta understand the pen that comes with these things is really important too. The SenseLabs pen is really good. The Wacom pen is really good. So make sure that the device you're getting has a good. Oh, the Cintiq. I think you get what you pay for. I think the Cintiq is kind of top of the line. It's like the it's a really quality tablet. But the thing is, though, with the SenseLabs, I think it's kind of a happy medium. You got really a very good quality product. But I mean, these are my opinions, by the way. You get a really good pen display that's really big and comes with the stand, comes with everything, and so I think if you're price conscious, the SenseLabs might be a better way to go. I don't know if they don't have a smaller. I think they have a 24-inch display, and that's the one I'm using currently, and I like it a lot. But I'm going to try out a Wacom as well, just to kind of see the difference between the two. And a lot of the companies I work at have old Cintiqs that work great still, that they've had for a long time. In the schools that I teach, they have labs full of these Cintiqs that have been there for years. So I mean, it's an investment, but it'll last you a while. All right, I think this is kind of about where I want to end this. Let's do a few renders here and see what we got. I'm going to bring up the floor. And let's go ahead and get like a nice angle to this. I don't know why I have the timeline on yet. I don't really need the timeline just yet. But while I have it, I might as well just create a little location here for the render. Let's turn redshift on and let's choose a redshift material. So notice now when I change the material to a redshift material, it will take the characteristics of that material. But I got to do something here with this material real quick, which is I'm going to turn off the color weight. So it's just basically getting the color weight from the object itself. And this will take a minute here. And once it's done, I'll just let BPR go. Luckily, it's saved right before this. Hopefully I didn't do anything bad. It's kind of stuck figuring things out. Here we go. Right, diffuse color weight is that, and then let's just hit BPR, see what we get. This is coming along. Hopefully it'll be done soon. I'm hoping to finish this sometime in March, and then whoa, oh, how about that? A whole lot of nothing. No? Yeesh. All right, well. Oh, I know what I did wrong. All right, no, I want the diffuse color weight to be at 1, but I want this to be white. That's what I did wrong. Okay, here we go. There. We're going to get a metallic looking guy. Let's see what he looks like. And then once this render is done, we'll call it a night. So yeah, I think Wacom's been in the business for a long time, so their stuff is good. A lot of the folks from Sense Labs come from Wacom, so their stuff's going to be good too. I don't know about this XP pen. I'll be curious to know if it's good or not. It seems the prices seem too good to be true, but you never know. All right. I don't know why it didn't. I wonder if I do this. Just want to make sure this is pure. Yeah, it is. So let's just bring this down a bit. And here I'm just looking at nooks and crannies and kind of how things are going to come out. All right, it's looking good. It's amazing those two rings in the eyes, like they create such a cool effect. I might even put one more neon in there. All right. I can hear my GPU kicking in. All right, so we're looking good. I think I like what I see. I'm going to do one more close-up render here of the areas that we worked on and see what that looks like, and we will call it a night. All right, so as this is going on, I just want to make sure I thank everybody that stuck with it for the entire stream. And if you're watching this after the fact, again, if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me on my websites, on my Instagram or whatever, and I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. I am on a couple of projects, as I mentioned, but I'm going to get freed up soon. So if anybody is looking for somebody who does this kind of stuff, I will be available. Let me know. And with that, I will bid you all... oh, I should do one other thing before I go. One last thing is I want to show you how I can make some of this detail pop over here. And the way I'm going to do that is just by going into the render menu and turning on some filters. So do I already have some on? I guess I do. One of the things I'm going to do here is just go to adjustments, adjust, and just adjust the contrast a little bit. Just add a little bit of contrast over here, and then adjust the brightness a little bit, and then also, oops, I want to use some filters. I thought I had some going, but I guess not. All right, so I have a sharpen filter, and I'm cranking that to the max. And then I have this one, which basically is giving me a little bit of the cavity look over here. And I've got that at -50, so I'm going to up that a bit. You can see very subtle changes with that. And the modifiers are, let's do both interior and exterior cavities. So that kind of brings out the details a little bit, but then I don't really need it to be that much now. I can reduce it. And then I've got this one over here, which is the outline cavity, and I can add that a little bit too, and you can see that what that does is kind of creates more ambient occlusion in the details. So just by adding these few little post render things will make it stick out. And right now it looks pretty bland, but adding tertiary details will kind of make a lot of this make more sense. All right, so I will just leave you guys here. Thanks again for tuning in, wherever you are. Have a great day, have a great evening, or whatever time it is where you are. And I will be on again, not next Friday, but the Friday after. So happy ZBrushing, and we